One bright morning, Detective Fırfır noticed something strange. A single sock lying in the middle of the living room. Socks always came in pairs, so this one's partner had clearly gone missing. With a determined look, Fırfır set off to investigate. She sniffed around and soon spotted tiny paw prints on the floor, leading toward the bedroom. Looks like someone's been busy, she thought, following the trail closely. When she reached the bedroom, she peered under the bed and spotted the missing sock, firmly held in the tiny paws of Shivas, the mischievous hamster. Shivas had borrowed the sock to make himself a cozy little blanket and was napping peacefully inside it. Detective Fırfır crept forward, stretching out her paw to gently take the sock back. But just as she touched it, Shivas woke up. Surprised, he snatched the sock and dashed to the other side of the bed, ready to keep his prize. Not one to give up easily, Fırfır carefully planned her next move. With a quick pounce, she snagged the sock and held it up victoriously. Shivas stared in surprise, but Fırfır gave him a reassuring look and returned the sock to its owner.
Detective Fırfır and the Mystery of the Missing Food Bowl. One morning, white Scottish-fold Detective Fırfır went to the kitchen and noticed her food bowl was missing. The bowl was always in the same place, but today it had mysteriously disappeared. White Scottish-fold Fırfır immediately went into detective mode. For a good detective, finding every clue was essential. First, she spotted tiny paw prints on the kitchen floor, leading toward the living room. Quietly following the trail, Fırfır made her way to the back of the big couch. Peeking behind it, she discovered the culprit, the neighbor's playful puppy, Potty, holding her food bowl. Potty had mistaken it for a toy and had hidden it away. Fırfır gently tapped the bowl with her paw and looked at Potty. Embarrassed, Potty let go of the bowl and backed away. Detective Fırfır proudly took her bowl back to the kitchen and gave Potty a firm look to make it clear her food bowl was off limits. What mystery will Detective Fırfır solve next?
Detective Fırfır and the Food Thief. Detective Fırfır was on vacation aboard a luxury cruise ship when the head chef rushed over. "My food supplies are disappearing," he said anxiously. Fırfır sprang into action, following tiny paw prints she found in the storage room. These tracks led to the captain's tiny chihuahua, Linda. Linda tried to hide her guilt, but crumbs and chicken bones on the floor gave her away. Fırfır explained the situation to the captain, and together they discovered Linda's secret stash. Everyone was grateful for Detective Fırfır's quick work, and Linda was given her own meal, so she wouldn't have to sneak around for treats. Don't forget to subscribe and like for the mysterious and adventurous stories of Detective Fırfır.
Detective Fırfır on the case, the missing remote mystery. One morning, white Scottish-fold Fırfır was excited to watch her favorite cartoon, Tom and Jerry. She sat eagerly in front of the TV, but there was a big problem. The remote was missing. As the smartest and cutest cat in the house, Fırfır quickly put on her detective hat and sprang into action. Fırfır sniffed around every corner of the house, checking the living room, the kitchen, and even under the bed. Just then, she noticed Corey wandering around with a mischievous grin on his face. Fırfır's detective instincts kicked in. Could it be that the remote wasn't lost but hidden? Determined, Fırfır decided to follow Koray. She carefully investigated his room, checking under the desk, inside the toy box, and even in his drawers. She was about to give up when she spotted a clue peeking out from the pillows. A corner of the remote. Aha! Gotcha! Fırfır whispered to herself. Koray had hidden the remote, so Fırfır couldn't watch Tom and Jerry. But nothing could escape the sharp eyes of Detective Fırfır. Victorious, Fırfır grabbed the remote and sat in front of the TV, turning on her favorite show. Even Koray was impressed by Fırfır's clever detective skills. Tail wagging, Fırfır enjoyed her well-deserved episode of Tom and Jerry. One morning, Detective Fırfır is wandering around the living room when she spots tiny paw prints on the floor. The prints lead her to a big box in the middle of the room, labeled Mystery Box. Fırfır's heart races with excitement. She's encountered the kind of mystery every detective dreams of. Carefully, she sniffs the box, circling it a few times, before gently placing her paw on the lid and pushing it open. Inside, she finds colorful feathers, a small magnifying glass, and the tail of a toy mouse. A clue, Fırfır thinks, eagerly picking up the magnifying glass and examining each item inside. With the first clue, the mouse tail, in paw, Fırfır starts sniffing around every corner of the house, determined to track down the elusive mouse. Every step reveals new hints, leading her further along the trail. Eventually, she finds a note attached to the mouse tail. "You'll never catch me." This mysterious message only heightens Fırfır's excitement. Following the trail of clues around the house, she finally reaches a hidden area filled with bells, feathers, and mirrors. It's a surprise surprise obstacle course, just for her. Realizing this, Detective Furfur smiles, satisfied. Curling up inside the box, she closes her eyes, purring with pride. She's solved another daily case. Detective Furfur and the Mysterious Shadows. One evening, as Furfur sat by the window, she noticed a strange shadow outside. The shadows moved constantly, as if something or someone was lurking near the window, but it didn't look like the usual shadow of a bird. Furfur decided to investigate. She crouched behind the curtains and observed for a long time, but the shadows kept shifting, taking on different shapes. At one point, it looked like ears, and another time, it resembled a feather. To solve the mystery, Furfur got to work, inspecting the window. First, she sniffed around the windowsill to find any traces or scents that could give her a clue. Staking out. Later that night, she waited by the window again. This time, she used the light to cast clearer shadows and analyze the shapes. The revelation. Furfur finally discovered that the shadow was caused by a family of cats playing in the garden outside. These cats didn't visit during the day. They only came out at night to play hide and seek. Once Furfur uncovered the adorable secret, she left a small toy by the window for her newfound feline friends. Who knows, maybe these playful cats will become her new companions. Detective Furfur, the neighbors call for help. One sunny morning, Furfur heard a desperate meow from the garden. Her neighbor cat, Murnov, was panicking. Furfur, help! A baby bird is missing from the nest. Furfur quickly put on her detective hat and got to work. She sniffed around the nest and found feathers scattered on the grass. Then she spotted tiny paw prints leading to an old tree hollow. Inside, Furfur found a sleepy squirrel. The bird? It headed toward the garden wall, said the squirrel with a yawn. Furfur and Murnov hurried to the wall. Under a bush, they found the baby bird, safe but scared. Furfur carefully returned it to its nest, reuniting the happy bird family. You're amazing, Furfur, Murnov cheered. Adjusting her hat, Furfur meowed. Just another case solved.
Title: Detective Furfur and the Case of the Missing Collar. Opening. Furfur is sitting by the window when her neighbor Potty rushes over in panic. Potty's favorite red collar is missing. Detective Furfur springs into action. Crime scene. Furfur sniffs around the flower bed and finds a clue, a tiny feather. A bird might be involved, she thinks. Suspects: Minosh the sparrow, Termuk the stray cat, the mischievous wind. Quick investigation. Furfur checks Minosh's nest, but no collar. Next, she spots Termuk with muddy paws from the flower bed. Suspicious. Finally, Furfur notices something shiny stuck on a tree branch. It's the missing collar. Ending. Furfur retrieves the collar and returns it to Potty. Grateful, Potty meows happily. Furfur flicks her tail and walks off like the hero she is.
Title: Detective Furfur and the Stolen Tech Mystery. Opening scene: office lights flickering, alarm buzzing, voiceover. A groundbreaking AI chip has gone missing from a top tech firm. Only Detective Furfur can crack the case. Furfur enters the office, sniffing and investigating. Furfur quickly spots the clues: a mysterious feather on the desk, a tiny handprint, and a banana peel by the window. Furfur looks up and notices faint marks on the ceiling wires. The culprit didn't use the door. Someone swung in. This was no ordinary thief. Furfur strategizing with the boss, who looks worried. Furfur remembers the boss's friend, Mr. Effe, and his overly curious capuchin monkey. Could it be? Next scene, a meeting is staged. Furfur stealthily watches with a mini drone. Voiceover. During the meeting, Furfur uses a drone to check Mr. Effe's bag, and there it is, the stolen AI chip hidden by the sneaky monkey. Final scene, Furfur sitting proudly on the boss's desk. Chip returned. Case closed. Detective Furfur saves the day, proving once again that no thief, big or small, can outsmart her. Closing scene, Furfur being rewarded with treats and affection. Title: Furfur and the Mystery of the Missing Crystal. Opening scene: Furfur discovers a magical magnifying glass in an old antique shop. Her eyes sparkle with excitement. One day, Furfur found a magical magnifying glass. It could reveal the unseen. Cut to scene 1. The town is plunged into darkness, and everyone is panicking. That night, the town's light crystal disappeared. Furfur was on the case. Cut to scene 2. Furfur uses her magnifying glass to spot tiny glowing paw prints. A gang of mischievous mice is hiding. The clues led her to a gang of naughty mice, but the mystery was far from over. Cut to scene 3. Furfur sets a clever trap, catches the mice, and retrieves the crystal. With her clever mind and magical magnifying glass, Furfur saved the crystal. The town was bright again. Closing scene. The townsfolk cheer for Furfur as she calmly sips her milk and closes her eyes with a satisfied smile. And that's how Furfur became the town's hero, but she's still our humble little detective. Video idea. Fırfır and the magical portal. Opening. Fırfır stands curiously in front of a slightly open wardrobe door. Colorful lights glow from inside, spilling out into the room. She cautiously approaches and peeks inside. Middle part. As Fırfır steps into the wardrobe, she suddenly finds herself in a completely different world. In this magical realm, flying fish, dancing stars, and glowing orbs surround her. She begins chasing one of the orbs, exploring as she goes. Along the way, she discovers a magical tree, sparkling stones, and a shimmering pond. Ending, one of the glowing orbs darts back into the wardrobe. Fırfır follows it and suddenly finds herself back in her regular room. She looks around as if nothing happened, except she notices a glowing stone in her paw. The camera zooms in on the stone as the video ends.
The mysterious postman. One morning, Fırfır noticed a strange smell coming from the letters in the mailbox. Is this chicken? Meat? What kind of smell is this? He wondered. His curiosity grew and he jumped onto the window to spy on the postman. Determined to solve the mystery, Fırfır secretly followed the postman. When he saw the delicious smell was coming from dog biscuits in the postman's bag, he was shocked. So that's why the letters smell so good, he thought. Just as he was about to investigate further, a small dog jumped out of the bag and barked at Fırfır. Startled, he quickly climbed a tree. Despite the close call, Fırfır proudly returned home, purring to himself, "Another mystery solved. That's the Detective Fırfır difference."
Detective Fırfır and the Shadowy Thief. One night, the most valuable artifact in Catstown, the crystal cat's eye, was stolen from the museum. The entire feline community was in panic as the artifact symbolized peace in the city. Detective Fırfır sprang into action. The first clue was claw marks in the museum's garden, leading Fırfır to the hideout of his old nemesis, thief tabby Boris. But Boris had no intention of returning the crystal. With a clever plan, Fırfır outwitted Boris and reclaimed the stolen treasure. As the crystal was restored to its rightful place, a distant whisper echoed, "This isn't over, Fırfır." But Fırfır just smiled. For a detective, the adventure never ends.
Detective Fırfır and the mystery of the missing phone. The car ride was peaceful. Fırfır sat on the back seat, watching the world go by through the window, while her owner hummed a cheerful tune. Suddenly, her owner's panicked voice broke the calm. "My phone! It's gone! Where could I have left it?" Fırfır instantly switched into detective mode. She tapped her paws thoughtfully on the seat, analyzing the situation. The first clue? The coffee shop where they had stopped earlier. They returned to check, but the phone wasn't there. Her owner grew more worried. Fırfır considered the next possible location, the gas station. Once they got back to the car, Fırfır started her investigation. Sniffing and scanning every corner, she finally paused and pointed her paw under the seat. There it was. The phone had slipped and gotten stuck. Her owner exclaimed with joy, "Fırfır, you're a true detective." Fırfır fluffed her tail with pride. Another case solved, but she couldn't help but wonder, where will the next mystery lead me?
Don't miss these fun moments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Thank you.